Hello everyone, this will be a demo video where we will do the following things. First, we will create a custom VPC with CIDR block 10.0.0.0/16, and then inside the VPC we will create a subnet with this CIDR block, and then we will create an internet gateway and attach with the VPC that we will create, and we will create a route table with route to internet gateway, and then we will associate the subnet that we will create with this route table, and then we will create an EC2 instance in this subnet, and in the last step we will verify that the instance can connect to the internet. So this will be the uh, architecture that will get created in AWS. So we will create a VPC, and inside the VPC we will create a subnet. This will be a public subnet because we will create an internet gateway, and in the route table for that subnet we will give the route to this internet gateway. So let's get started. I am in my AWS management console, so let us first search for the VPC service. One thing that is to be noted here is in your AWS account, in every region AWS provides us with a default VPC. A VPC is already created by AWS in every AWS account and in every region. And along with the VPC, AWS also provides with subnets in all the availability zones. For example, in this London region, we have 3 availability zones, so 3 subnets are created by AWS for us. And similarly, a default route table is also created by AWS in this VPC, and an internet gateway is also attached to this VPC already. So these are some default values that are provided by AWS, and you can also create your instances with these default values, but in this demo we will create our own services. So as we discussed, the first step is we will create a custom VPC with CIDR block this. So let us create our custom VPC. Create VPC. Let me custom VPC. Write the CIDR block. So we just created our VPC. Then we will create a subnet. Select VPC. So we need to select our custom VPC that we just created. So let us name it my public subnet A. Availability zone, you can choose any availability zone, like in this diagram we have this subnet in one availability zone, so you can select any availability zone. Then we provide the CIDR range. Create subnet. So we created our subnet. Then we will create an internet gateway. So our internet gateway is created. We will attach this internet gateway with our custom VPC. So we attach the internet gateway to our custom VPC. Now let us create an EC2 instance in this VPC and subnet. Instance, let us name it web server. Amazon Linux AMI, which is free tier eligible, so select it. And T2 micro also is in pre-tier eligible, this instance type. Key pair you need to select for SSH access to this instance. So I have already created a key. You can create your new SSH key from here. Now in the network you need to select the VPC that we just created, our custom VPC. Otherwise this instance will be created in the default VPC. So select the custom VPC, and then inside the VPC we have this one subnet that we just created, and then here is a setting auto assign public IP, so you can click it to enable so that we get a public IP with this instance, so that we can connect to this instance through SSH. So security group, you can create this security group will be created with this instance. If you already have a security group, you can also use that. So in this we have a rule, inbound rule for SSH access, so leave it as it is for now. Launch instance. So our instance is launched. Let us see. Let us now connect to this instance through putty. The default username for Amazon Linux 2 is EC2 user, and you need to provide the SSH key, private key. I think the instance was initializing at that time. Let us connect again. Seems like we can't connect to this instance through internet. So what might be wrong? Let us see. So here we saw that we created a public instance, a VPC, and an internet gateway. But one thing that we didn't do was we didn't created our custom route table, because with the VPC a route table is created which has routes to local address only. So it means that although we have named it a public subnet, but it doesn't have a route to the internet. So let us create our custom route table. So we are here in the route table. So you can see here we have two route tables. One route table is associated with the default VPC, and the other route table is associated with the custom VPC that we created, and this is the main route table. So if you see, in the main route table we have routes to the local network, which means uh, the instances that are subnets that are using this route table cannot connect to the internet, but they can connect to other instances privately in this network. So we will not modify this route table. Instead we will create our own new custom route table. So let us create a route table. Let me name it my public route table. Select the VPC, custom VPC that we had created. And now in this route table we need to edit the routes and add a route to the internet destination would be internet and the target should be internet gateway that we had created. So if we see this diagram, we just created this route table with destination as internet and the target as the internet gateway. So now we need to associate this route table with our subnet so that our EC2 instance can connect to the internet, or we can connect to that EC2 instance through PuTTY. So go to the subnets, select this my public subnet, and in the route table we can edit the route table associations. So now select my public route table and then save. Now we are done with this diagram. We now have associated our public subnet with our custom route table with route to the internet through internet gateway. So now we should be able to connect to this system through PuTTY. Let us see. Get the IP address of your EC2 machine. Yeah, you have connected to the internet. So now this machine should be able to communicate with the internet. See, we can communicate to the internet. So this was it about this video. In the previous video, I had discussed these things in detail: what a public subnet is, what is a VPC, what is internet gateway, net gateway, and the other things related to networking. So you can watch that video too, and I will provide a link in the description box to that video. If you like that video, please leave your comments or any suggestions or feedback, and please subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Thank you.